Welcome to the Hephaestus Challenge Anvil Division. We are in week number 2. Of course, we are playing Guns of Icarus here. Well, not playing it, but casting it. You know what I mean. Today with me being, imagine, Mr. 42, filling in today for Sir Morty, who unfortunately wasn't able to make it. We do have Mr. James T. Kirk of the Cake Clan. Mr. Kirk, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well, quite well. Happy to be here tonight.
Yep, it should be quite an amazing set of matches. Every week here is going to be incredibly entertaining, and hopefully we'll have some nice long matches this week. It was a lot of 5-0s last week, but you know, these are very, very highly competitive teams, and we should have some great games coming up for you. And speaking of which, we are going to today have 4 matches for you on this stream. We will have Bully Boys starting it off versus the Holy Roman Army, which is a combination of Holy and SPQR, followed by Sacrilege versus Kirk's own Team Cake. Then we will have Sky Invading Rhinos versus the Art of Warfare. And lastly, in our cross-division match today on the stream, we will be casting Deadpool Army versus their Mayor Men. But we are already in a lobby for the Bully Boys versus Holy Roman Army. And Kirk, what do you think of this matchup?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know a lot about SBQR or Holy, so I don't know how well they're going to work together other than, what I just saw last week. However, Cake does fly with the Bully Boys occasionally. We see them around in the skies. We got pretty decent relations with them. So, I don't know, I'm excited to see how this goes down.
Now, I should note, Gilder, who is a professed lover of squids, is now in a Pyramidian, and I'm not gonna lie, last week their squid didn't work out very well. So I gotta wonder if they made that change specifically because squids right now just aren't that great in a competitive stance.
And, well, I mean, they're really squishy. They're really great when you can give them the right loadout and put them on the right map with against the right ships, but it's very, very, very specific when you can and can't use a squid. Pyramidian and, Junkers, you can use them in pretty much any situation you need to. You can equip them with, brawl stuff or snipe stuff or mid-range stuff or whatever you really need for any situation. So they're a lot more adaptable in general.
Yep, of course, it looks like we have Pyra on both sides and a Junker on both sides with Brick, who is our fellow caster who has now stepped into captaining shoes, has been wanting to do that for quite a while. And of course, on the opposite side, we've got Thomas, who's the leader of Holy, and Jub Jub, who, I'm not sure what his standing is in SPQR. I'm not really sure of their hierarchy, but he will be captaining the Pyra on HRA side.
And whenever I see Jub Jub, I can't help but think back to the little cheat code in Star Wars Battlefront 1 to make everyone tiny. And I can't help but maybe think that's where he got the name, but I've got no basis in that. It's my own.
So I don't know where half these people get their name from, so I got nothing to add to that one. We've got about it's about 6 minutes or so before we start our actual matches. So, we're going to be sitting in this lobby for a little bit while longer, but figured that we should get ourselves started a little bit early on. Let's take a quick look at what's going on these ships right now. So on Gilder's ship, we've got, oh my, those are double Merc fronts.
Ooh, I haven't seen that for a while.
With a gap mortar side, so it's kind of a reverse from actually what you often see. Now, I played with Zill, Rear Admiral Zill, I think a few days ago, being Merriman and all, and he was using a Junker with double Merc sides. Now, what do you think of a Pyro with a double Merc front?
Well, I mean, I guess maybe the thought process behind it is you can backpedal and continue sniping with it. And then, I guess pull up to someone and just sort of turn when you got the brawl side. But Peary's turn a lot slower than Junkers do. And although, you don't have to make an entire turn all the way around to get to your brawl side, it's still going to be, a hassle.
Yeah, and I don't know, I'm thinking this might also not be the greatest map for a double Merc front build. You can get lost in clouds. There are a lot of terrain issues, so I'm kind of hoping they're not just going to be backing up into their own spawn. Let's see, what does what has Brick got on here? He's got Gap, Mortar, Artemis, double Artemis. Oh yeah, yeah. Brick loves that triple Artemis side on on Junkers.
It is powerful. It is very powerful.
Not as powerful as it once was, though.
That's true. That's true.
I almost feel like if you put a Hades on one of that would be just infinitely better. But
Mm, arcs. Do
but
they overlap?
they do have double Merc
Yeah,
for that armor stripping.
that's
So
true. That's true. And then, well, I mean, the nice thing about Mercury's is unlike a couple, sort of snipey weapons, is that they don't have an arming time. So, I mean, technically, you can just shove your nose in them and shoot those mercs, but the arcs get in the way.
yeah, well, and slow firing also means that
Yeah.
you're gonna want to stay away in general. Now let's see. On Holy's or Thomas's side, he's got the exact same junker setup as Brick with that triple Artemis, although I think it's on the other side. Yeah, it's on the reverse side. And on the Vulcan, they're going with Hades Lifelike. So it looks like we are going to probably have a long-range battle here. And last week, we had a lot of close combat, all up in your face, all up in your business fights going on. And, we'll see if how that works out here. We do have a 30-minute time limit. And so if we start getting into this long-range sniping business, is anybody going to die in 30 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, canyons, when it's a sniper fest, you can easily get lost in the canyons when you're both going in there looking for each other, and then you can, waste a lot of time trying to locate each other. But when it goes into a sniping match, they're in their base and you're in your base. So it's just a matter of who decides to try to make that first move and where they come from.
And it should be noted for anyone watching and not aware of the rules that it is a hard 30-minute time limit. So after 30 minutes, of course, you have some minutes in there for pauses or whatnot if somebody disconnects. But as for a game, after 30 minutes, whoever is leading wins. And if it's a tie, then it's an actual tie in the standings. So there's no overtime rules like we have had in the past with Sunday Rumbles or box socials or anything of that sort. So you can't just sit on your side and expect the other team to come through. Eventually you're going to want to do some maneuvering, but we'll see how that works. All right, so just quickly before we get started, we do want to let you know that this is a dual stream type thing going on as the Hammer Division is going on over at the Rob and Dan Show's channel. You can watch it. Yeah, God, I have the wrong thing in my copy paste, so here we go. Let me get that link for you. It's over at robanddan.tv/live. You will be able to see both streams there, and it's up to you, whichever one you want to have actually unmuted. I suggest ours because
Yeah, definitely ours.
now, unlike last week, we are also staggering these games. So their first game will, I believe, start about 20 minutes before after ours. So it's possible that you'll just be able to flip back and forth without any problems. Also, at the end of today, we will be having a kind of community chat thing going on. I think we'll be talking about the how the first 2 weeks have been going on. That will also be over at Rob and Dan's channel. But we will let you know of that further. For now,
Well,
I
looks like
do
ships are
suggest
readying up.
just yes, searching and looking on that link. And yep, we are going to get some readies going on and getting into in this week number 2. And
I'm excited.
should be quite exciting. Yep, absolutely. This is Bully Boys and both SPQR and Holy Roman Army.
Uh-oh, someone
somebody just
hang
dropped.
on.
So yeah, well, I think somebody may have pressed back a few too many times.
Oh man, they
That does
need to
happen.
fix that. I mean,
Yeah.
cancel or move the button or something. It's just too easy to back out of your tool select and back into the main lobby.
Yep. Obviously. Now, so yeah, Bully Boys and Holy Roman Army. They're kind of, Bully Boys have been around forever. BFS has been around forever, but you haven't seen them a whole lot lately. Of course, with brick casting, it hasn't been there too many times. So, they're definitely just getting their feet back into this competitive scene in HRA. Pretty much a brand new thing, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, the two clans before existed, and I don't know if they just couldn't field the people or if they just really like each other or what, but they're working together here, and we'll see how well they work together this week.
All right, let's get a quick loadout going on here on the red side, Bully Boys side. We've got the Uchikudake? Sure, we'll go with that.
Sounds right.
That's got double Mercury fronts, as we talked about with that Gatling mortar on the side. Of course, that is Gilder Unfettered's ship. And on the Kusanagi Brick Hardcastle's traditional junker, it's got Artemis with an Artemis up front, and a Gat mortar on the other side.
And on Mendel's Riches, piloted by Thomas, we've got a Gat mortar on the port side, double Artemis on the starboard, and then a third Artemis on the front. And finally, on the RAS Vulcan, ooh, I like that name, it is a Hades flak Peary with a flamethrower and a flare gun on the side.
And that is, of course, piloted by Jub,
Oh, yes,
best
my
BQR
mistake.
fame. And, well, what we thought that might happen is not actually happening as far as the blue team goes. They are advancing fourth, but red team, as I thought what might happen, they are just sitting in their spawn. Now, they haven't backed up all the way like we often see these red snipey teams do, but they are pretty deep in their own spawn.
Yeah, and I mean, they're watching the west side, but they're also on the west side, so blue's going to have quite a bit of land to overtake to get to them, even if the red team's not pointing out exactly where they're going to come from.
Now, the one thing that you can do on this map is use cloud cover if you know how to time it. You can actually...
Oh, they've been spotted.
well, so much for that. You could actually jump into this side over here with these clouds, hide in there until the next set of rolling clouds comes through the red spawn, but that is not what happened here. And Kusanagi has already got Mendel's Riches in his sights, using that triple Artemis to slap right into there. But they are getting that Hades fire in return, and the problem is the Uchi Kudake is just in no shape to fire at anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to get... The Vulcan is staying very nice behind those pillars, so the Uchikudake cannot quite get to him. And, that Peary, he's got to point his nose, so he might actually have to climb around and get a little closer than he needs to.
Yep, and Kusanagi's still getting peppered, has got a bunch of
Yeah, he's getting focus fire.
stuff, disabled, a lot of weapons out. Uchikudake now going on fourth, but that is really far fourth for somebody with double mercs, and now they are switching fire over to the Uchikudake, who's got to be back up here.
Yeah, it looks like he was just trying to draw fire of the Kusanagi for a little bit. But I don't know, it looks like it's definitely costing him a little bit. Let's see if he loses any perma.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to take too much of a beating there. Kusanagi has a pretty low balloon health there. Of course, I think a lot of those Hades were hitting the balloon and can be quite powerful against the balloon. Uchikudake now backing up. Kusanagi, after going forth a little bit, will do so as well.
Yeah, big cloud has rolled in and all the spots are off. Anyone who's shooting is just shooting in the dark right now. So we're going to have a ceasefire until this cloud rolls through, and then we're going to re-engage with the sniping.
Yeah, it looks like Uchikudake has actually got a beat on the Vulcan there, even though they have no spot. And they are getting return fire as well. And this has actually worked out fairly well for the HRA side, but yeah, this is exactly what they wanted.
Here
This
goes
is...
the Arties.
Oh,
Yeah.
Uchikudake had taken a lot of return fire, but Vulcan took a boatload of damage there.
Oh, yeah, he just lost a lot of perma real quick. He's getting out of there as fast as he can to sort of lick his wounds.
Yep, and I think this is exactly how BFS wanted to play this. Use that double Merc to strip armor, use this triple Artemis to keep on peppering with that explosive damage. Almost worked out to get him killed right there.
Yeah, and I mean, now that Junker's just out there high and dry, sitting by himself, trying to launch some Arties across, but 3 Arties across 2 ships.
And they're gonna keep on getting sniped
there goes
out.
the
The
hull.
Mendel's Riches. There is the hull, and here comes the Artemis spam.
Ooh,
And will
I
the
think
Mendel's
he's gonna
Riches
have
go
one more.
down? No,
Oh,
not quite.
dodge. Wow.
Just dipped at the right time. But
Oh, yeah.
both of these blue ships are incredibly hurt now,
Yeah.
and I think they realize they cannot withstand this sort of fire.
Yeah, I mean, this plan fell through. They got spotted, I mean, a lot earlier than probably that they were hoping. They were probably trying to get into a little bit better position and were forced into the engagement too early. But I mean, it wasn't bad because they were kind of able to use these, pillars here to duck behind and get some cover. Just overall, the red team definitely had the advantage.
Yeah, Mandel's Riches definitely came out a little bit too far. They were on this side of this front pillar right here, and there's not a whole lot you can hide behind right there. They had to be a little bit further back to be able to duck around to the left side of this pillar, and they definitely took a beating because they just came out a little bit too far.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like they've repaired everything that they can. Well, there's still one gun down on the Vulcan, probably that flare gun in the back.
Yeah, it is a flare gun.
And it looks like they're repositioning and trying to go around to that west side.
Yep, but they are, both of these blue ships are definitely hurting, and this is an incredibly strong position for BFS team here. All they have to do is just sit around and, a couple of, plink a little few shots here and there. As basically, if they strip armor, if any shots connect, both of those ships will die.
Yeah, and I mean that Junker's got a whole lot of armor on him, second most in the game if I'm not mistaken. But that Peary's just got average stats.
Yeah, well, I mean, versus two. Hey, what kind of? Actually, let me check real quick here. Okay, so it looks like they did bring that charged ammo for the Mercs. There's a lot of different various ammo you can use for that. Charged, however, is definitely going to be the best at not only taking out components, but just dealing gobs of damage to that armor.
Yeah, the Merc's a powerful armor stripper. Just, low magazine and low fire rate.
Yep, they're not exactly the easiest to hit with, as they do have a pretty significant drop near the end of their shots. But if you can start connecting with it, it's definitely a pain.
Yeah, and I mean the Junker's got a nice advantage of having a really slim hull profile, and it's difficult to hit. And a lot of that is covered with guns too. So you might nick one of those and save yourself an extra second.
Yeah, the Pyra is definitely a little bit of a bigger target, especially because basically wherever you hit on that ship, it's going to be hull.
Yeah, I mean you can't even balloon block with it all that well because of that giant nose out on the front.
Yep, alright, so we got Mendel's Riches coming on fourth here. Has been spotted by the Kusanagi and the Uchi Kudake. I'm just going to call it the Uchi because saying the full name is going to drive me crazy, as the Mendel's Riches is going to start backing out of here now as we see some of those Merc shots just whiz right past him.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like these blue ships, I know, what can you do? You can't rush them. That doesn't give you an advantage. All that does is give them an advantage. You just got to sit here at, disadvantage in terms of your permahull and sort of use the pillars to, your advantage, saying advantage a lot. Sort of duck in and out, not quite sure, have the red team not know where you're going to come out.
Yep, fire and keeping going on from the red team. They, had a few glimpses of the Mendel's Riches. Couldn't get a spot on, so, Mendel's Riches is fairly safe here, especially since they're behind his pillar once again. RAS Vulcan, down quite a lot here, just skirting around the floor. Not entirely sure where he's trying to go here.
Well, I mean, being down low to the ground isn't necessarily a bad strategy, especially in this game, because there aren't any flechette damage weapons at all out there, I don't think. So you don't really have to worry about your balloon going down and grinding up against the dirt.
This is quite true. Now, Mercuries, they don't really have a very good, up and down type of arc. You kind of need to be pointed whatever you're shooting at, but they do have quite a lot of drop on them, as we said before. So I don't know, maybe being up higher would be a little bit better.
I don't know. I mean, I wish I could sort of read these pilots' minds to think about, especially the blue team right now, because they're at a giant disadvantage. They're going to have to pull off something really fancy to turn this engagement in their favor.
Yeah, and they're actually pulling all the way back, almost into their own spawn, right around the lip of that valley that you often see blue teams, gather up at, and it doesn't look like BFS is interested at all from moving from their own spawn. So, yeah, this is kind of what we thought might end up happening: is the two ships withdrawing into their own ends, and with these longer range guns. I mean, why not? You make the other team come to you. The only problem is that if this timer starts winding down and the BFS team charges, they can get 2 kills rather easily. And, if they're in minute like 20, 25, can HRA really come back with 2 ship kills in, that 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, especially if that Piri turns tail and runs, because we don't have to. We have two of the same ships on both sides, so you don't have to worry about them overtaking you unless your Junker's running away from their Piri. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how, if even the teams try to avoid a tie situation, aggressively.
Yep. And we haven't had a tie so far. In fact, I believe all of the games last week went really fast. There were a lot of kind of 5-0 games. I think we had a couple of 5-3 or so games. That took a little bit longer, but most of them were really action packed. So this is the first time in this Hephaestus challenge. We're of course only in week 2, but this is the first time we've had kind of this still standoff, and we'll see how these two teams end up playing it. They do definitely have some time left, about 20 minutes to go still, and we'll see if either one of these teams decides to charge forth. At this point, if BFS decides to do so, they are definitely in an advantage. They can take down these two ships really quickly and maybe even do this kind of hit and run thing where they head into blue zone, kill the two ships, and then just head right back out and escape with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, if I were red team, that is what I would do. But I'm on this side of the casting wheel this time around, so we'll see how these next 20 minutes play out.
Yep. All right. So let's quickly take a look at what's going on in these ships, what these loadouts are here. Of course, let's take a look at this Mendel's Riches real quick. They've got 3 engineers. Looks like they've got double buff. So has Midnight definitely being that Gungeoneer down at the bottom. He's brought burst ammo, and that's actually a little bit strange. I would think that with burst ammo, you would want the mortar to be downstairs with that engineer instead of the Gatling.
Well, I think the idea is that engineer is always going to be downstairs and accessible to that weapon, and a lot of times you need more constant hull strip than you need mortar fire. That's a very situational. Once the armor drops, boom, you got to hop on that mortar, and you've only got a couple seconds before it comes up. It doesn't need to be firing continuously like the Gatling often does.
Yeah, and I just actually noticed that all 3 of them have burst ammo, which is, of course, very good for Artemis. So, there you go. That burst ammo will work well for anyone. And I guess they pretty much figured that Gatling mortar never going to come into that big of a use because of the fact that the other team is such long range capabilities.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's see. Vulcan, what does the Vulcan got on him? He's also got he's got 2 engineers. Does have a gunner. Of course, that gunner is going to be on that Hades. Hades definitely benefits from 3 different ammo types.
Yeah, with the long range, medium range sort of encounters, you get a couple different things going. Lesmok obviously gives you a lot more range. The charged will give you a lot more hitting power, and Grease makes it, shoot faster. It's a lot more terrifying, and it brings down that arming distance quite a bit.
And you know what? This is the first time I'm actually seeing this. So if you have that eagle figurehead on a ship with a hull that's broken a lot, it's actually hanging off by one wing.
Yeah, and that makes me so angry because I paid good money for that eagle. I want it in pristine condition at all times.
Hey, well, you should stop having your ship be half dead.
Oh, see, drive your ship into ships. Ask questions later.
Yep. All right. So the other, let's see, we've got a Lesmok for Allison, who, yep, of course, with that flamethrower, Lesmok is a very good ammo type. But let's see, in the Vals has charged ammo. What do you think about charged ammo for that light flak?
I mean, it gives you, it's all about the DPS really when it comes to that light flak, the explosive finisher. You want to get as much damage into that exposed hull as quickly as you can. And usually, I personally see greased in it more because you get more shots. You can pre-fire it a little bit, get a couple in there to take down maybe that last little bit of armor, maybe if you can time it just right, and then put a lot into it. Charged, I think, does it decrease your clip size a little bit?
I believe it does.
I'm not a gunner. I don't know.
I don't know off the top of my head, quite honestly.
I mean, obviously it increases the damage per shot. So, I mean, it's a numbers game. Grease charge. One shoots faster, a little bit lighter. One hits harder, but not quite as many bullets. Although what I'm interested in is that Jub Jub has greased rounds. What I would do is I would bring Heatsink and load it into that flare just to get that extra third one, in a time of silence like this or when the match starts or whatnot, so
Uh,
that the
per
engineer can have a third one to shoot.
Yeah. Although personally, I like the heavy clip in flare, just because it becomes incredibly accurate, and you can knock out
Component snipe.
guns or whatever. Although in this match, maybe not as much because it's a lot more useful against like stuff like
Clouds.
heavy
Like
guns
the
or something like that.
galleon, yeah.
Galleons, goldfish, things of that sort. All right, so let's take a look at the Uchi Kudake here, the Uchi. Of course, as we've said, they've got charge rounds for those Merc guns up front. Pretty standard for that case. Looks like we've got greased on the side here for Dr. Panda. That works quite well for both the mortar and the Gatling. Although there has been a little bit of discussion on the forums recently about what's the best ammo type for the mortar, and it's kind of split between greased and burst right now, I think.
Personally, I bring greased because I just like greased rounds. I like shooting a lot. I like shooting quick. It makes me feel powerful.
Yep. All right, and of course on the oh, that's the wrong ship. On the Kusanagi, we've got we've got a lot of Lesmok going on. So that's an interesting choice. Now, I have seen this before with Artemis Lesmok, just to extend that range just a little bit more to get that more range on you. Triple Artemis will still knock out components. You usually see it with burst, but I have seen a lot of this Lesmok going on.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, and that's one of the major differences we see amongst either these junkers. They have near identical builds, just a matter of on what side of the ship it is. But one has burst rounds and one has Lesmok rounds, and you can see that the red team definitely pulled off a really good advantage. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
Quite possibly. All right, so we are getting a little bit of movement here as the red team is now going down on this side path into the Valley of Death, as I like to call it, because if you get caught in here, you are dead. And it's quite funny when the two teams just meet right in the middle here, and both of them go, "Oh crap!" and start backing up. They are going to be coming up around the side here. Now, Arius, Vulcan, and Mendel's Riches are quite well hidden on this opposite side of the canyon here, and probably will not be seen on any sort of approach currently.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to think, is the red team thinking they're all the way back in the blue spawn amongst this wreckage, or if they're, over where they actually are, or if they're, that off chance that they're circling around in the other direction at the same time. It's really scary moving through this map when the other team has got a long-range engagement. Because, you just have not a clue where they are, and there's so many places that they could be, and if you come in at the wrong place, at the wrong angle, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yep, now it's Uchi Kudake and Kusanagi kind of setting themselves up here. I do wonder if they will try to actually go all the way around here, maybe see if blue team is in the back of their spawn at some point, but for now they're content to sit in this opening to this little area over here. I'm not sure what you would call this geologically between these plateaus. Is this a valley? I don't quite know.
I have no idea either. I'm interested. The junker is, I guess he wants to stay beneath these rock formations, but he's a little low for those Artemises. The Artemis guns.
The Artemis.
Is that, every person has a different pluralization of that.
Artemis is just funny enough to say that I might.
It's called Artes.
Artemises.
Artemises.
Artemus. All right, so we got the Vulcan backing up around this pillar over here. Mendel's Riches has gone a little bit to the opposite side.
It looks like
Are they going to start actually moving up?
Yeah, what is Vulcan? Is he going into, I said that unlikely event that they both move into each other's spawns, but it looks like it's happening before our very eyes.
Yep, there we go. Blue team finally moving up. They were, of course, discussing a little bit of the time rules in chat, so now they know that now they know that you can actually end in a tie. I guess that was a little bit of a question. Oh, let's see. We've got Kusanagi and Uchi Kudake actually right back through the Valley of Death here.
Oh.
So they might just happen to meet kind of right outside of red spawn here.
If they happen to like run into each other in the canyons, both at close range, with the only thing brawly being the side kit on those junkers, that would certainly lead to an interesting finale.
Absolutely. Now, I will say that just to let everyone quickly know, the other stream at once again at robindan.tv/live should be live by now. I think they're going to start their first game fairly soon. So if you want to throw that up, go ahead and do so. We, of course, got about 10 minutes left on here with still a 0-0 tie.
Yeah, I mean, but once that time limit comes up, you only need a 1 point. Oh, there's a spot down on the riches from the red team. Quite an impressive eyes.
Yep, they just managed to get it, and this is going to be a really bad spot here for blue team. They're going to be completely out in the
Did they
middle
just
of
drop
nowhere.
tar? All right, Mendel's riches. Oh, there now they know where they are, but they dropped a tar cloud right behind them.
Yeah, it was a little bit of tar, probably a mistake, going a little bit too fast through your scroll wheel. Here we go, Mendel's Riches now getting absolutely peppered. RS Vulcan, no arcs on anything whatsoever. That armor is almost down on Mendel's, and they are backing up as quickly as they can. Vulcan now has a beat on the Uchikade, however.
I think they've overextended themselves. He just launched himself into a 2v1. It'll be nothing short of a miracle if he gets out of this one alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it looks like they actually might be able to do so, but they're going to slam into the floor over here. Almost getting there. Oh, armor goes down, and he shot! Oh, there it goes!
Oh, that's the
first
1
kill.
point lead for the red team. So this junker is left on himself. He can either run away with his tiny bit of perma or pray to the god of his choosing and maybe take out one ship, which does not look like his choice.
Now, if they had any more time, if they had more time left, maybe 15, 20 minutes left on the clock, I would say just die. Just die and get yourself respawn. But right now, you cannot take a 2-0 deficit here, but I don't think they're going to have much of a choice, as both the Ichikade and the Kusanagi has got a beat on Mendel's Riches, and it's going to be very hard for the ship to escape, especially now that I think the main engine is down right now. Uchikade just coming right on in here. Mendel's Riches is going to have a very tough time getting out.
He's turning his brawl side, but that Piri, right at the same time, that Piri started backing up. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he just got, and there it goes.
Absolutely. And there we go. 2-0 lead here for BFS, and it's going to be tough. I mean, the Holy Roman Army has... they will have to just run in here as fast as they can and hope to blitz these Bully Boy ships, because they need to tie this up at the very minimum.
Yeah, I mean, we've got less than 10 minutes left on the clock, and, you need to sweep that team with that was the period with the brawl kit on the side, wasn't it? Or is this the one with the... No, this is the one with the flamer and the flare. Oh, man. So they've got one brawl kit and then one kind of maybe a little bit brawly thing.
Yeah, and I mean, they can definitely support from longer range. That Hades Artemis will do, or Hades Light Flak will do work, but they have to rely on the Mendel's Riches to get in there and use that
gap mortar.
Gap mortar. But they're not really set up for that kind of match.
I mean, what have you got to lose? I mean, if you hold back and wait for them to come to you, that's never going to happen in a million years. They'll take they'll wait their time. It's really your only choice to run in on them, and I'm sure that the red team knows that, and they're going to be ready. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to pull it off.
Oh, very much. So now Uchikadake is in a kind of a precarious position. They are really low here and really forward. I don't know if I like that with a double merc. If Mendel's Riches or the Vulcan would have run on in here, they could really just slam the Uchikadake into the ground and basically completely nullify that Pyra.
Yeah, I mean, but then you got that Junker who's way back in his spawn.
Yeah, no, it's quite true, but
better than nothing.
We'll definitely see what happens here as these two blue ships moving up around on the side. They've got to frantically get in here. They've got about 6 minutes before this match is over, and they are taking their time. They are just breezing along, going with the wind, and I'm not entirely sure if that's the winning move here.
I'm gonna do something crazy here and put my throttle to 2 notches ahead. Oh man, let's be careful here.
Whoa, let's not be crazy.
Looks like the Vulcan is going through the middle, going to go a little eastern, not just come out that side, which may be a good call because that's where both the red ships are pointed.
Yeah, no, it's splitting up here. Maybe try a little bit of flank. It might behoove them to wait a little bit and until one of these sets of cloud covers comes rolling through the red side, which is coming right now. And if basically if there was ever a time for them to rush in with 5 minutes left and this cloud cover coming through, right now is when they would have to do it. If they don't get in here and start getting a quick kill, it's going to be very hard for them to not even talking about a win anymore, just to tie this up.
And it looks like they are taking your advice because the Vulcan is going ahead and the Mendels looks like it is also moving ahead. So we're going to see if they're able to find the red ships and get some good shots off on them before they... Oh, is that what that Peary's doing? That cloud is cruising right over him. Is he... Maybe that's why he's so low to the ground, so he can get some spots on someone who tries to pull something sneaky.
Yeah, unfortunately that cloud cover is gone, and unless the RS Vulcan is able to beat down that Uchikadake real quick here, but with that double Artemis or triple Artemis from the Kusanagi coming in, they are getting some nice Hades shots off on the Uchikadake as well, and Mendel's Riches is supporting fairly well here. Uchikadake has got to be a little bit careful, as they are losing quite a lot of armor, but Vulcan's getting peppered.
Oil refinery? No, look, looks like he's going to miss it by just a touch. No?
Uchikadake, armor almost down. Vulcan's is completely down, and
there he goes. See if those Artemis will finish him off. Oh, looks like maybe.
Vulcan lost his balloon. Uchikadake almost down here. A couple more shots, but they're going to get it back up.
I don't think they're going to be able to get that hull down again before one of them... Oh, I don't know, maybe. I may have spoken too soon. They're definitely taking a lot of chip damage from that, explosive shatter. And here comes the Hades.
Here comes the Hades. Arius Vulcan losing his balloon there hurt them a lot, but they took him out. Can they get the Kusanagi? They've got to push in here right now. They've got to run in here and then get out as quick as they can because the Uchikadaki will be respawning fairly soon. So far this has been going exactly how Holy Roman Army has wanted it. Now it's up to the Kusanagi to live for as long as possible and hopefully get a nice spawn.
Already spawned back behind the Vulcan and Mendel's Riches.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The Holy Roman Army has got to go for it. They cannot let up on the Kusanagi. Uchikadake has got to get turned around and maybe do something maybe with that gap mortar if they can. Kusanagi
got to be careful of that wall.
Armor getting taken down, and he will. Nope, get his armor back up,
but the balloon's almost out.
Oh, and he smacks against the rock there. Balloons out. Uchikadake trying to do whatever it can.
Vulcan is in almost too close to miss range, and there it goes. If they can turn this out and get the Uchihidake, there goes the gap mortar from the side.
Yep, it's
I don't know if the Vulcan, maybe. Oh wow, this has actually become a very, very, very exciting finale.
And we've got just 3 minutes left here as the Vulcan keeps on peppering the Uchikadake. And will they get that third kill? Looks like they will, and now Kusanagi has respawned right behind the Vulcan, and this has turned into an absolute nightmare here for the BFS team as they are getting absolutely slammed by the Holy Roman Army. Such a turnaround here, such a great engagement from HRA, and I think they just might be able to take this out.
I mean, talk about bad to worse for the red team. I mean, they used that cloud cover perfectly. They focused, fired really well, and it's like that first engagement just got turned around. And we're seeing almost an alternate reality where if the blue team had won that first engagement, and I don't know, it looks like once again they're just focus firing very well while the Uchi's just too far away to do anything.
Yeah, Kusanagi is gonna go down here. Uchikadake is trying to use that double merc up front, but they've got to get one kill, minimum one kill. So the Vulcan does have to be a little bit careful here.
Whoa!
But down goes the Kusanagi, and it doesn't really matter anymore because even if they, even if the Vulcan dies here, they're still up 4-3, and with 1 minute left.
1.5, yeah.
Can they get 2 kills? I don't think so. I don't think BFS can pull this out. And what an amazing turnaround here from the Holy Roman Army.
I've said nothing short of a miracle, and nothing short of a miracle is what we've experienced here today.
Yeah, and this is why I did not like where Uchikadake was. They were way too forward and fairly low, and that allowed both the Mendel's Riches and the Vulcan to come on in and slap that Uchikadake down almost immediately, and Kusanagi was just not able to do enough to assist.
I mean, with just under 30 seconds left on the clock, I don't think we're going to see any more kills here. I think that's it with a great, great turnaround.
Yeah, I mean that was 4 kills in the span of like 2 minutes from
On a
Holy
sniping
Roman
match. I mean,
Army.
who would have thought?
Yeah, amazingly worked out. Uchikidake did try with that gap mortar side there, but just not quite effective enough. Vulcan was able to get out of that arc fairly quickly, and with only one ship firing upon him.
Match. There we go.
And
That's GG.
that is GG. And my word, that was crazy.
Wow, I feel bad for anyone who's like, oh, sniping match, I'm tuning out of this one. Because I don't know about you, but I found that finale fairly exciting.
Yeah, no, that was, and this is how sniper matches will often go. You'll have this, like, long lull of not a whole lot happening, shots here and there, maybe some permanent hull damage, nobody really dying, and then suddenly it's like a switch is flipped and both teams are just finally get mashed together. Time limits will do that for you.
Yeah.
So, Blackflight Squadron will take match number 1 here. And so that Bully Boys, they do get their first victory of the season. Of course, they lost Bully Boys lose. What am I saying? Holy Roman Army gets their second win of this season. I totally know exactly what's going on. All right, let me update standings here, as that is 2 wins now for Holy Roman Army. Blackflight Squadron loses their second match, unfortunately. And that had to be a very hard, very tough pill to swallow there for the Bully Boys at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got that advantage. I mean, I was saying it myself. It looks like they've got everything in the bag, and it looked like this match was over after that first engagement. But, the Holy Roman Army was just like, everything just fell into play perfectly for them. That cloud cover came in right as they started going in. The arteries zoned themselves. They were trying to get those spots, I think, but they were just too far apart from each other, and they were just able to focus fire really well. The teamwork just came in all of a sudden, and they just turned it right around.
Absolutely. All right, so we are going to go to a slight break here. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll get started at, I believe, 45. So let me change this for 45. Our next match will be Sacrilege versus Cake, and I know Mr. Kirk is looking forward to that one.
Very much so. All right, we'll see you guys when we come back.
All right, we'll be back in a little bit. In the meantime, go ahead and go and watch that dual stream link, as you can watch both streams there. And I don't know if the other game's going or not, but definitely do watch from that stream so you can get both of these great streams going on. And we will be back in just a few minutes.
Seconds march into the past, moments pass, just like that, they're gone. The river always finds the sea, so helplessly, like you find me.